Today, my friends, we have for you a Town Hall 11 upgrade guide. And this guide is going to be a little bit more updated to the previous one I did. And this one's going to be going all over war weight. And we're even going to be going over the offensive upgrades. And we're going to be going into some of the best ways to farm your Town Hall 11 and some of the best war attack strategies currently in the meta. So that's right, guys, we are going over the Town Hall 11 upgrade order. We're going to first start here with the offensive upgrades in order to kind of give you guys the idea of what you guys should be doing once you've maxed Town Hall 10 and going to Town Hall 11. If you have not maxed out Town Hall 10, I would suggest that if you did not max Town Hall 10, if you rushed all the way up to Town Hall 11, max everything out for Town Hall 10, then start working on your Town Hall 11 upgrade stuff. That is going to help you guys a lot. So in terms of this, let's start out with the first thing. That is going to be the laboratory. Laboratory should be one of the first things. Along with that, it should be getting the Grand Warden. The Warden should be one of the first things that you put down. In terms of offense, this is really important. Now, this is a great way to sort of, do this is by buying the pack in the shop. The Town Hall 11 pack, I believe, offers you gems, the Warden, and also the Eagle for, I think, about $20, which is good because you're not spending any resources on them. So you get them immediately, which means you could use your elixir on the laboratory. Now, am I saying you should definitely buy it? It's going to be up to you. If you want to put money into the game, great. If not, you may have to farm up a little bit to get the Warden, unless what you plan on doing is using a hammer or definitely a hammer on the laboratory to get that done. That's just going to be how sort of I'm thinking of it. Another thing, the reason why I put all the heroes here is because you will be working on these as soon as possible. I mean, as long as you're working on them throughout all the upgrades, this should be one thing that you are doing consistently. You should be doing this whenever you get enough dark elixir or elixir for each of the heroes. So it's definitely going to be very good for you guys to do. So I wanted to make sure I explained that, because in the last video I did of this, I didn't really explain it. I just showed, and I think I talked about something else. So I wanted to make sure I was a little bit clearer on that. Now, when we're starting to move in onto these other upgrades, we want to then go into the gold storage. The reason is, if you do not buy the gold pass, then you will not have enough with your your level 11 storages. You will not be able to get the CC upgraded. However, if you go ahead and use a gold pass, then you don't need to worry about that. But if you don't have it, then you will need to upgrade your storages. Once you do that, you can then put down your CC. And remember, the CC at Town Hall 11, it doesn't really offer you another more camp space. It allows you, though, to hold a second spell slot, which means you can now hold a rage spell in there, for example. The next thing after this is going to be the elixir storage. The idea is that you don't really need to do both storages at the same time, unless you want to, of course. But as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely a little bit better to sort of do your gold, make sure that you're working on the CC, and then after, you can upgrade that elixir storage and start working on the other following buildings, which would be the army camp, and then also the 2 barracks. These are definitely kind of in an order that I would recommend. I think it's better to have the army camps maxed than going in and upgrading your barracks to get E-Drags when you really won't be able to hold very many. So it's better to upgrade your army camps than your barracks. And I would definitely say E-Drags over Ice Golems any day, especially as you're upgrading through. So that's definitely going to really be up to you and your sort of process. But the main idea here is just that. Now, I do know that I am a Town Hall 13, but I want you guys to get the idea that, I am a Town Hall 11, even though, of course, all these upgrades here are not. But I did make sure that I did research on all of these topics, and as well, it's all on Town Hall 11. So do not worry. Everything works for Town Hall 11. This is not for Town Hall 13. This is not for Town Hall 12. This is solely for Town Hall 11. So now what we're gonna do after I show you guys just this a little bit, you can see there that there is the defensive upgrade order over there, which we will jump into, but that is going to be your offensive upgrade order. You are just working on these buildings here, and this is what's going to help you guys in terms of upgrading your offense. What I did in the Town Hall 12 one was I did go over them at the same time, so it was better here if I just kind of went over one thing and then moved on to the next one, which we are going to smoothly transition into this next one, which we are going to be starting off with the Eagle. Now, don't worry about this. I will remove it. It was just a little bit of a placeholder there in terms of the Eagle. But the first thing that you should get once you are a Town Hall 11 is your Eagle. Now, the Eagle actually does not cost that much war weight when you put it down. It only costs 500 war weight, which is really, really cheap compared to a lot of the other things here in this sort of guide. I have a little bit of a sheet right here just in order to kind of help me with this information, but still, 500 for the Eagle is really not that bad, and I would suggest you put it down. I mean, compared to all of the other structures that you will upgrade, there's a lot more war weight from them than there is with the Eagle when you put it down at level 1. So after you do this, you should work on your Teslas. They are the cheapest war weight building in terms of, the entire game. So definitely upgrading your Teslas because they will definitely help since they stay hidden and they could definitely provide some of that surprise elements at certain points. On top of this, the next thing that I would then put down is going to be your cannons and your archer towers. This should be the next thing. I mean, this is some standard stuff, making sure that you're putting down the cannons and the archer towers. You can either do one of two things. You can either do them to the next level, which I believe is level 14, and then wait a little bit later to do them at level 15, or you can do them from level 13 to 15 immediately. So you can do that either way. Remember though that I believe you have 7 cannons and 8 archer towers, so that is what you're going to be seeing within there. Now, after you do this, you should then work on your air defenses and your air sweepers. Air sweepers cost 225 war weight. Now, I didn't mention it with the cannons and archer towers, they cost 200. The air defense costs 200. So, pretty fair in terms of that. Then I would go from there. I would go ahead and upgrade the Eagle to level 2. It will cost you another 500 war weight, but that's completely fine. Compared to a lot of the other things going on, you will definitely get a lot more if you max those out. And then work on your Eagle, max that out, and then work on the other defenses, which we have for you next, which is going to be the Expo, which is going to be a great way. Honestly, in terms of what I'm saying here, the reason that I would go from Eagle to Expo is because Expos only cost 300 war weight. So, and that's, now remember, that's per Expo. A lot of this that I'm saying is per building, not for the whole thing. It's for per building. So to get the upgrade, or to get the Expo upgraded, it's going to be 300 war weight per Expo, which is not a lot, and I would definitely do this after the Eagle, since it doesn't really cost too much. I would then do the Wizard Tower. It's really going to be up to you if you want to do the Wizard Tower earlier or later. I put it here partially because it does cost, I believe, another 300, so I put those two kind of grouped up together, though remember that you do have 5 Wizard Tower, so it does cost a little bit more in terms of total war weight for them. And then the last one is the Inferno. Now, the reason that I put the Inferno as the last one is because the main reason is that Inferno there is definitely going to cost you a lot of war weight. I've seen it to where people had level 2 Eagles and they had like level 3 Infernos, and they were still one of the bottom weights in war. So the Infernos really cause you to go up a significant amount. Now, the other buildings I didn't put in here were the mortars and the bomb towers. Do those at the last one. The last building should be those two, at least in my opinion. Of course, you could do them earlier or later, but they really provide no significant value, so they're really not worth upgrading until the very end. But Infernos, they have 800 war weight. That's per building. or per the 2 Infernos that you get, which is a lot. So just keep that in mind, that when you upgrade them from level 3 to 5, it's 800 in total. So keep that in mind when you guys are deciding on upgrading your Infernos. So that kind of gives you guys a little bit of a summary in terms of what you guys should be upgrading here. And the last thing I want to go over is, if you have any builders busy, I would work on either walls or traps. And this is a really good way. As long as you have one builder, 1 or 2 builders, then you could definitely either work on a wall or 2, or even go ahead and put down any of the traps and definitely start maxing those out. And then outside of that, that's really all the sort of placed buildings and stuff here in this. So feel free to like screenshot this or something, but it is definitely a great sort of way for you guys to get the idea in terms of building, or, you know, in terms of upgrading here. Nothing is set in stone. Just remember though that there is the eagle over here, so I'll put the E right here. Other than that though, that should really help you guys upgrade from Town Hall 10 in terms of buildings to Town Hall 11. So it should help you guys a lot when you're transitioning. And I hope that this kind of helps you guys a little bit more. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on into some of the farming strategies that I've used at Town Hall 11 and how they kind of work in terms of what I know. And then we'll also go into some war attack strategy replays and show you guys what is strong right now in the current meta. So moving from the building upgrades, we are moving into the farming strategies that you guys can actually try out. So what I decided to do here is kind of go through some of the strategies that I used at Town Hall 11 and sort of was, you know, using to farm up. And I have the CCs right underneath them as well. So if you do decide to use any of these, then these are going to be the army compositions I would recommend. And then also, I would also recommend the CC compositions. So the first one is Dragbat, and I farmed with this a ton at Town Hall 11. Now, of course, to be granted, this is not going to be the entire cost, but it's still pretty cheap. I will have to say it's a pretty good balance between Elixir and Dark Elixir. I would definitely say that this is what you should use for the most part. You're learning a really simple strategy, and on top of that, you are basically going to be able to farm really consistently. I would even say that this is better than Mass E-Drag, which I did put into this one. Since I know a lot of you guys do like E-Drags, it's a good way to sort of get the idea, but I would say Dragbat over E-Drags any day. The next one that we have here for you guys, which is going to be the second one, is the Queen Charge Miners. Now, before I move on to that, the CC on the Dragbat is 7 Loons, 1 Rage, and a Stone Slammer, if you can get one. I don't think you really need a Siege, but it is going to be good for this strategy. Now, the second one is going to be the Queen Charge Miners. The main reason is that this is such a great Dark Elixir farming strategy. You can also use this throughout the whole time, and you can definitely learn how to charge into bases with this one. On top of that, what you can do with this is you can, of course, even put a Yeti Bomb in, which is using 1 Yeti, 2 Valkyries, and a Barbarian, along with either a Rage or Heal, depending on your army composition, and then the Blimp, if you don't have access to the Siege Barrack. I would, though, recommend, bringing in a Siege with this one. It would just help, but if not, use your King on the opposite side, and you should be good. If you don't have your King, then I really don't know what I can say. Now, the last strategy here is Mass E-Drag. This is going to be the third and final one that I have here for you guys, but the main idea is pretty simple. It's just E-Drags. So what you want to do with this is you want to make sure that you're just creating a funnel with at least 2 of them, or use one of them on one side, and if you have your heroes up, 2, or, you know, your king and queen on the other side to create the funnel. This is really, really good, and it's the same, roughly the same CC for this one, same thing as the Dragbat. Just remember, though, do not bring the Wall Wrecker. That is the wrong CC to bring. Stone Slammer is going to be where it's at, or you can maybe even use a Electron with this, so you could bring another E-Drag in there if you want, and then possibly bring a Clone Spell instead of maybe the Freeze. So it's really going to be up to you. Outside of that, though, that kind of gives you guys 3 really good farming strategies, which I have used pretty commonly throughout Town Hall 13, or from between Town Hall 11, though Dragbat is 100% one of the best ones. Now let's go ahead and move on into 3 Town Hall 11 attack strategies that you guys should actually focus on in your lab. So here is our first strategy, which you guys should focus on in the laboratory so that then you could start using it in war, but it's P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, really strong, really consistent, and also works against ring bases. I didn't think it would, but there's a lot of really good things from this one example to kind of take away. I think for starters, you know, you can use a Warden Walk. I didn't think you could at Town Hall 11, though I think the main limitation to this is you're looking for lower HP buildings, so you're not looking for the storages at all. You do not want to Warden Walk the storages. It's going to take far too long. So if you're Warden Walking like this way here, then you're fine. You should make sure that your Warden is going in the right direction if you are planning on doing a Warden Walk. So what we want to see, or what we are going to see in this example, is we're going to see our Warden Walk moving in this way. We're going to use a P.E.K.K.A. over here through the wall with a couple wizards, and that's going to actually clear this entire section right here, which means that what we're doing from here is actively creating the funnel for our entire attack. I didn't think you could use a P.E.K.K.A. and just a couple wizards, but it's actually a really good idea now that I think of it. So if you want to bring 5 P.E.K.K.A.s, that might be a good idea if you decide to use 5, or if you decide to use 2 P.E.K.K.A.s to create the opposite side of the funnel on a ring base. Could definitely provide you with a lot of value. And then all you have to do really is send in your Wall Wrecker. This works wonders against these type of ring bases. Partially because the Town Hall is right in the center, so you have easy Wall Wrecker pathing right into the Town Hall. Very simple. It really doesn't take too much, and then all you have to do on the back end of the base is just bat wave it. That's all you've got to do, especially if you have the bats, or if you have the, you know, the P.E.K.K.A.s and the bowlers, and they're moving straight through here. So you should be able to clear up both multi-infernos if they're in the core of the base. It shouldn't be too hard, but that's just this is going to be a good example for you guys to really understand. This is probably a base that you guys maybe have seen before. If not, pretty common ring base. You guys can take advantage of this. So let me know though if you guys want to go ahead and see a sort of ring base video, and I might even put this one in there, even though we've already recorded it here. I think it'll be good to re-record and put it into a separate video to where you guys can really focus in on other attack strategies that are very similar in terms of, you know, going against ring bases and island bases, of course. But you can see that what we're doing is we use the 2 P.E.K.K.A.s and the 2 wizards here to carve an area out on this side. We have the Warden actively creating the funnel over here. This is really good for our attack, which means now our P.E.K.K.A.s and bowlers are not going to move over here and go around the base. They're going to stay. So look, this is basically going to be the pathing for that Wall Wrecker. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can see that the pathing over to the Town Hall, it's really easy, and none of those P.E.K.K.A.s or bowlers will even walk. Yeah, there's a ring here, but that doesn't mean that they're going to immediately, you know, sort of go around the base. You know, you still got the heroes moving in. You still have, like, the bowlers getting their skip value. So you have a lot of stuff going in, and most likely it's going to carve an area out from the base already. So you'll see dealing with the CC is not too bad either. You don't even need to lure it out. Now I'm just going to go half speed here. I want you guys to really see this. So notice how both multi-infernos go down really easy. We're getting a lot of skip value. Then we're going to drop a free spell right onto the wizard tower. This is a bat wave. So usually you're going to have your bats from the bat spells on the outside, and then they're just going to work themselves around the base from defense to defense. And then you just want to make sure that you are freezing up the splash damage. So on this wizard tower right here, you'll see that we are going to be freezing that up very easily like that. But you'll see that it is going to go, we didn't really predict that pathing, so that's what kind of happened with the bats there, but we're still able to clear it up. We don't need the bats to completely take out every single building, but we do kind of want them to clear out a solid area of the base in order to sort of get something from it. But that kind of gives you guys a great example, in my opinion, of a P.E.K.K.A. Bobat kind of done right, basically. So, and against a ring base too, so you can't do that against ring bases. Now let's go ahead and move on into our next strategy, which is going to be the second strategy that we show you guys in order to show you guys what you guys should be upgrading for war in the laboratory. So here is the second strategy you guys should upgrade in your laboratory, and that's going to be hybrid. The other one, you had the P.E.K.K.A.s, bowlers, bats. You guys should definitely upgrade those. Well, here we've got miners, hogs. Those are definitely going to be the must to upgrade. I mean, this strategy is by far one of the strongest strategies right now in the game. So I think, as far as I can say here, really all you have to do with this strategy is do a short walk into the base. So let me just draw that a little bit better. So you're just doing a short walk, and then you want your queen to walk downwards or in an area to where you're able to sort of clear something from the base. Now what this means is that you're going to be walking your queen in here, and then on the opposite side you are using your king and the siege barrack to sort of create a funnel on this side, which means that what you're trying to do is you are trying to clear out this entire section right here. So you're trying to clear out all of this with the king and the siege barrack. And what that means for the rest of it is you are looking at pathing kind of like this into the base. So you don't really need to go for the eagle, but it's nice to get. The main thing though is the CC and carving out pathing for your miners and hog riders. That is how simple that this strategy gets. I know I've done a ton of videos on this strategy, and of course it definitely does well for the channel, but of course I see it everywhere, so why can't I sort of cover it a little bit more? So definitely that kind of gives you guys an idea of what I sort of think in terms of recording hybrid. But this strategy still works by far. One of the best strategies right now in the game. Really, again, it works on ring bases, it works against single inferno, so really don't worry that, you know, if you're going up against singles, you may want to use your queen charge away from it, or even use a Yeti bomb. That's something that I would recommend. Yeti bomb is a great way in terms of creating the pathing for your queen, and you don't even have to charge in if you don't need to. That's the thing. So you're going to see we're focusing in on this queen right here, so we're going to just zoom in really quickly so you guys can take a look at that. So we're dealing with the CC very easily, and we're dealing with the queen underneath that rage. So you see that we're taking a lot of heavy fire, but that is the reason why we have rage spells. So we're raging up that queen in order to deal with those, with the enemy CC and queen. And what that allows her to do is get through that section, and now she can continue her walk going through. So we had to use a couple rage spells, but notice that we didn't pop the ability. Now on the opposite side here, we're going to be seeing the king being dropped. So right after we rage up that queen to take down the eagle, we can then drop in our king and the siege barrack. What this means now is we can send in our miners and hog riders into the inferno and into this sort of narrow section here. What this means that now is our queen has carved one area out, the king and the siege barrack on the other, and now we have the miners and hogs to move in. We have 2 heal spells for them instead of 3, but we have 2 of them in order to sort of help them get through. We even have the warden ability, which we should be using around the core of the base in order to sort of get through. And what I mean about the core, I mean if you're not like smack dab in the core, as long as you're lining up with the core of the base, then you should be fine. If you have to pop it sooner, do so. It really just depends on the base in terms of when you need to pop that ability to protect them. Outside of that though, you just want to make sure that you're giving your hogs and miners good pathing good pathing as you get through the base. I know that I voice cracked there, so don't worry about that. Outside of that though, this is a really strong strategy. Again, you really can't go wrong with this one. Really easy to do, and it 100% can help you guys improve on your queen charges. So let's go ahead and move on into our final strategy that you guys should upgrade in the laboratory. So guys, here is the final strategy, which is going to be Bow Witch. Now, of course, there are other strategies I could have put within this video. Other strategies that you should upgrade is any of the ones I showed in farming, so miners, hybrid, of course, and I did show that in this one, but miners definitely, drag bat, 100%, those dragons and balloons. I would definitely say your lava loon, especially for Electron, 100% that is meta, and I wish I could show it to you guys, but I just can't. And then on top of that, I would definitely upgrade your E-Drags as well. Other than that, though, hopefully you guys took a lot away from this video. We've got this final one here, which is going to be your standard drag, or a P.E.K.K.A, or not P.E.K.K.A, the Bow Witch. And yes, this is entirely possible. All you're doing, though, it's pure spam. All you're doing is dropping in your witches on one side, and then all you have to do is just do the same thing either on the other side up towards 12 or on the bottom side towards 6 o'clock. It's really, really easy because what you're able to do is carve out an area of the base either by using a Sui hero. Now this one's a little bit different. Typically here you're gonna see the heroes moving in. That isn't happening in this one. And instead of going straight into the Infernos, we're going in away from them. The reason is we have 3 jump spells, we have a couple P.E.K.K.As and bowlers and witches moving into the base. So you'll see that we're going to pop the ward ability as everything is charging in, and then we'll just do this really quickly so you guys can see up close, and we can even see Hog Riders from the topmost side. And then as everything is working themselves in, we're using the heal spells, we're making sure that everything is all good. So as everything starts to move through the base, even though the Infernos are still up and they could definitely cause a problem, we still have a lot left. We still have P.E.K.K.As up. We still have a couple witches, though they are going to start dying out. And you can see that we are starting to lose our bowlers, and all that we have left are the P.E.K.K.As, the Hog Riders, a couple witches, and the Queen with her ability. Outside of that, though, you should be able to get the 3-star a fair chunk of times. If you don't have access to the Siege Barrack, I highly recommend you guys actually bring in either the Stone Slammer or the Wall Wrecker. So that is just going to be really 2 different siege machines I would highly recommend. Outside of that, though, hopefully you guys took away a lot from this video. Hopefully it helps you guys upgrade Town Hall 11. Remember that this guide is not a mandatory way to upgrade. It is just a suggestion based on me and sort of me updating my guide to help you guys a little bit more. And hopefully this kind of helps you guys a lot. But with that being said, hope you guys did enjoy. Remember to leave a like. It really means a lot. And subscribe to the channel for more Clash of Clans content. Another thing is, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. And also don't forget to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and also on MadCat. All those links are in the description of this video. And also feel free to go ahead and join any of the clans I cover, whether that be Aphelion, Exit Humanity, Mystic, or any of the other clans I cover regularly here on the channel. And definitely join their Discords. And don't forget to follow or subscribe or join my community Discord, which is also in the social media tab in the description. With that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.